What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone, and it's Champions League day. In a couple of hours, we're playing Sporting at home in an absolute must-win game, because if we lose, it's probably over our Champions League campaign. You know, you need kind of a miracle to make it, into even the playoffs. How sad it sounds. So we need to beat Sporting at home. Sporting are a good team. They only lost once in the league. They conceded like 5 goals in the league only. They have 6 points in the Champions League. They won 2 games against Marseille, and I'm sorry, I blanked it out. I think it's a new team from Kazakhstan. I think is Kvarat. I'm pretty sure is that team. So they have 6 points. They are in a much better position than we are. So the pressure is on. We're not shying away from that, or we. Spalletti, he just came in, but he took responsibility. We will go into that, and also what did Gregorio had to say, because there are very interesting quotes coming from the presser. Because some things are very positive, but if you flip it, it can be very worrying when it comes to the last 2 games and the reaction. And Spalletti saying they did that on their own, the players, and Di Gregorio talking about it, which makes you question why didn't that performances or that drive to actually try and win games, where was that up to Tudor got sacked? So before we get into it, as always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive straight into the reaction preview. Okay, let's start off with some Di Gregorio quotes. Heading into the game, I want to talk more about the Spalletti quotes, but he was asked about, the moment we won 2 games on the bounce, the moment Tudor got sacked after not winning 7 in a row under Tudor. He said the locker room is definitely feeling better. He said that's kind of obvious if you win 2 games, but you cannot lower the focus right now. We need to build on that and move on to the games. He also said when the coach gets sacked, the first feeling responsible for that are the players. We talked about that we needed to improve and looked to have a different attitude in our last 2 games. And I thought that's interesting because you also said when you are Juve, the objective is always to win. And he talked about Spalletti and the Scudetto. He said he's ambitious. When you're a Juve, you always need to win. And then this quote as well. He said responsibility was a key word when we talked among ourselves. It was the word after Lazio, the one we repeated the most as individuals, and as a group towards each other and towards the club. To be at Juve, you need to meet a certain standard in every respect, and even tactically, responsibility is the right word. So you look at that and you're like, okay, they are responsible now because, well, apparently they were not really, and they are after that Lazio game. But then the question is, why are you as a group become responsible right now? Why are you as a group, oh, we play for Juve, we need to have certain standards, we need to have certain objectives, we need to be responsible towards everyone at the club, the fans, the players itself, the coaching, the management, etc. Why did that realization only come after Tudor got sacked? So are you telling me you need a coaching sack every 6-7 months to have some sort of reaction to kind of save the season? That is the worrying part of it all. You can look at it and be like, okay, there's a sense of responsibility right now, but shouldn't you have that responsibility when you got Motta sacked, or the other coaches, other players, maybe Allegri, and now Tudor? Isn't that the bare minimum? Even though it sounds good, when you sit back and you think about it, you're like, so you guys weren't responsible before? You just now realize you're playing for Juve, that you have certain standards that you meet when you play at Juve. I mean, I thought that was a very odd thing to say, because it's not the first half. It's not that Tudor got sacked after being the coach for like 8 years or 5 years. No, he just got sacked because you guys apparently were not responsible towards him and the club. So yeah, it's good that they talked to each other and found some sort of balance right now. But I mean, it's still worrying that it needs to come from a place that we got a coach sack. So now, right now, we need to step it up and start working. So again, you can read into it however you want, but right now, apparently, they talk to each other, responsible. It's just, when will that responsibility stop? Because you're just doing it on command at this moment in time. Then he went on saying the time that the time to work has been limited with Spalletti. He said since we Have been playing every days. His career speaks for itself. What impressed us was his determination, willpower, ambition, and desire to challenge himself. We're heading into the right direction. Maybe too soon to say we're heading into the right direction, obviously, because he just admitted, the time working with Spalletti is extremely limited. Only one real training sessions, apparently, or two ish. Um, it's like it's good, it's positive that he comes out and he says that the coach is determined, his willpower, he has clear ambition, and he wants to challenge himself. I saw the clips today in training, or yesterday, from the open training session, and you can see that they were doing the rondo training. And usually as a coach, I've seen clips before with Allegri and Tudor, etc., or even Motta. If they're doing a rondo, the coach is not really involved. And if you saw the clips, and it's very, maybe, out of context, but Spalletti was involved with a rondo, saying quicker, quicker, and when somebody lost the ball, he said pick it up ASAP, no pause, basically just keep it going, and kind of micromanaging a little bit. So maybe it shows that he wants to get involved in every aspect of the game, getting the drive into that, even in rondos, during rondos. So maybe during the game, if there's a side moment of, a throw in, or any real, moment of little pause, trying to push the club to actually, or the players to move on and keep pushing. Now go to Spalletti, because that's, I think, what everybody wants to hear. He was at, what do you what is your takeaway from the Cremonese game? He was actually asked twice, like, what were you happy about? He said, I'm just happy I made the right choices, or I made certain choices and they worked out. He said they gave me useful feedback to keep improving our work, to talk with the players and move forward. So it's like he said, and he will repeat it in a sec, he didn't really do anything. It's the players that won the game against Cremonese and Udinese. And I'm like, that's fine. That's positive, as well, I guess. Because while the players showed up without coaching, and now coaching needs to add into the mix, fine. But again, it's like, where was that under Tudor? Now you can, show up, even if it's against Cremonese and against Udinese. Now you can do it, but not with Allegri when Motta was a coach. So yeah, I thought it was interesting when he said that. But on Sporting, one quote on Sporting, or actually two, because he said, "Yo, actually, we're playing Sporting tomorrow," and he said it's a very difficult game. They know how to play football with Borges. They have shown they know how to position themselves on the field and have a clear idea of their game, even if it's hard to define when you watch closely. They're excellent at interchanging positions, um, and their close control passing quality makes them a threat to anyone. I haven't watched Sporting games. I'm being 100% honest. Unless, no, I haven't. Not even. No, I don't think I watch any of Sporting. Not even like clips or something. So I cannot say how they're playing. I know last season they played well. This season they are still second in the league. They only lost one game, conceded 5. Again, Champions League. I said in my intro, we struggle against anyone at this moment in time, even in the Champions League, being that Dortmund or whoever, Villarreal. We struggle against everyone, so we cannot take anyone for granted. The pressure is on. In the past, we struggled to Sporting or Benfica. Like, we struggle against a lot of teams ever since, I don't know, ever since the Sarri season. We just, the Pirlo season. We are bad in Europe. Period. Is as simple as that. And Sporting must be respected. We have 2 points. They have 6. It's do or die. We need to win. We need a serious game. We need the same intensity and mindset from these players. Otherwise, you're going to lose out on this game already in the first half, and it's goodbye Champions League. And when I say goodbye Champions League, we're not going to win it. And yes, you should be aiming to win every game. We get it, but we're miles away from Bayern Munich, for example. But it's the money. It's the money that is important. You cannot go out in this early, finishing bottom 8. That can just not happen. So it is a massive game, and Spalletti's taking it serious, and also acknowledging the fact that, yeah, we haven't done well in the Champions League as a group, and that's just a fact. 2 points out of 9 is extremely bad. It makes it worse when there are certain teams who have already 6 points who shouldn't be on 6 points. Like teams you would assume drop out of the Champions League, they're on 6 points. So you need to make up 4 points before they actually could drop out of the Champions League. So that is already a bad situation for the club itself. So massive game for us, and he acknowledged that. Um, he talked about Yildiz. I don't know if we really want to go into the Yildiz talk, because he said, at the end of the day, it's a good starting point to ask the player where you want to play, and he made that clear. That's what he's gonna do. And he said when you ask him, he says he enjoys playing in the left center area or wide on the flank. Both work fine because he's a good whatever he's plays as a second striker or on the wing. What can trouble him a bit are those 100-meter tracking runs, but strong teams adapt doing that. Technique is about showing who you are. Physicality is about showing where you want to go. Again, on the Yildiz position, it's irrelevant at this moment in time, because again, he had not a lot of training sessions, 2 maybe in total, if they're real training sessions. We will see how everybody will be put on the pitch. For tomorrow, coaching again is not really coming into play. Maybe a little bit, but from what the players will take from the coaching, because he said, I hope the players just take a little thing what I'm told them today. He said, today, so yesterday, in the training session, I made them aware of one specific thing. He said, I hope they just keep that in mind. I don't know what that specific thing is. We don't know. Maybe it's pressing high. Maybe it's, maybe it's Yildiz position and we need to play through Yildiz and it means overlapping. We don't know what that was asked in training, what was asked in training. But he said, I just hope that one thing we trained on, or the one thing I'm asked the guys early on, I hope they just pick that up. So the Yildiz position is a bit irrelevant at this moment in time. That will kind of sort out itself, and then we can talk about it, when we have real evidence about, winning, etc. Then he talked about the Scudetto, again, not really relevant to this point, and about winning. Okay, this one. He said, the win at Cremonese was the player's achievement. I didn't have a hand in it because there was no way. I appreciate what's been said, but they were attentive to what needed to be done and responded correctly on the field. They've always been united as a team. I rarely find them stretched out. At times when pushing forward, we got a few meters too long, but we managed to regroup well, something we can build on for the future. Their commitment has been outstanding. So this is the quote I said. He said, I haven't done anything, for Udinese, for Cremonese, obviously, and Udinese as well. He mentioned, said it's the players who've done that job, and that's when he said, I hope the one thing I told them today in training, they pick up and they, use that during the game, and that helps us potentially win that game or do well performance-wise. So again, he's just giving a lot of confidence to the players, saying it was you guys who have won that game. Now I need to come into play again, maybe positive, but also these players can do this and they couldn't do that before. Two very odd things, you can look at. But again, so far, no coaching. According to Spalletti, it's all on the players, apparently. This quote, a typical Spalletti quote. He said, to play in the Champions League, we must have our own idea of what it means to be a team, and we have to protect that idea. Usually, there are 3 options: the right choice, the wrong choice, and the uncertainty about what you want to do. Uncertainty is the worst of all. And I think he's going back to the Colt Miners' decision earlier on against Cremonese, saying that the choice was to go to these teams, attack, and win, period. That's the choice we made. And then it's like, hopefully, the right one. Uncertainty is, let me play Colt Miners there. We're not really going to attack, but if I play Colt Miners there, then we might also not concede much and not lose that game. I think that's what he's kind of referring to, or any other player. It's just the intention to go out there and try to win games by the choices you made in training, and actually backing that choice and believing those choices, and not just stepping away from those choices made. Then he also said, playing every 3 days is no excuse. And I say this to my players who need to stop using that as an excuse. He said, playing the Champions League is a privilege. You need to enjoy that. And playing every 3 games comes with the statue of the club. It's as simple as that. It cannot be an excuse. He said, this is football how it is, and you need to accept it. You move on. You play every 3 games, and that's a good thing. I like that, because I hate when people use it as an excuse. It's not like, he can easily say, man, I wish we didn't have a midweek game twice so I can actually coach, But it happened. There was a midweek game, and I had, there's no choice. I need to go into this with 2 training sessions, and we need to figure it out because it's a must-win game. We're playing a team that are well oiled. They have mechanisms. They're coached for a longer time by the same coach. They've played with each other for a longer time. You're going against a good team who have mechanisms. Even being that Sporting or the Portuguese league, which I don't want to do because it's disrespectful, they're a good side. That is the pressure for today. Um, Again, on Yildiz, a bit irrelevant in my opinion at this moment in time. He said the fact that we've won 2 matches and they did that on their own again puts us in a position to compete on equal terms with a great team like Sporting. So again, giving credit to the team, saying, okay, I've seen you guys and you can play together. You can make something happen. That puts us in a good position to go against Sporting and show something good. On Vlahovic, obviously, he was asked. He said, I spoke with him. I talked with the players, especially with him for a much longer time. And he's happy to be here and he wants to stay. He's not, concentrating on the contract. He just wants to play football, he said. And he also added that uh, he has an advantage because he knows Juve. It's all about he knows what is expected to be here. And he played extremely well in performance-wise against Cremonese and also against Udinese. And that's good because he did help us win with his built-up play. And again, that's a topic for maybe another discussion, I guess, when it comes to Vlahovic. And then he was also asked, what do you hope to see of the team? And again, I already mentioned, he said, I'd like to see some reflection of what we talked about today in training. I'll already be happy with that. Now, I do want to finish with this quote from Cambiaso because it's a big story, Cambiaso. I will read it out really quickly. He said, he's a very modern player. Nowadays, fixed roles do no longer exist. There are responsibilities that one player can take on for another. Being a modern footballer gives you a big advantage. You know how to behave and make the best choice for the good of the team. Cambiaso is strong, really strong. He gives you so many options. He brings balance and allows you to decide where to play him so that others can stay in their best positions. He needs to improve a bit in his heading, but honestly, let's try to find him a real flow. Takeaway, he loves Cambiaso. Period. It's as simple as that. He will use Cambiaso as much as possible. He will probably make Cambiaso play a lot better. He will probably make other players around him play a lot better. And that's probably the Cambiaso we were all hoping to see and know that the player is in there, but we haven't seen since last January. And that was not hating, that was just a fact. He was poor since last January. And we need a good Cambiaso because, again, he gives you so many options. The way you can play a ball first time between the lines, skip 2-3 players to doing so is a massive boost for this team, especially because we cannot play out from the back from our center backs. It's a massive boost. The overlapping, the interchanging, all these things. And even he said, I'm better on this side of the pitch. I can come in, I can shoot, I can do a bit more damage. So Cambiaso, he will be a key player for Spalletti. And I just saw the date is wrong. It's obviously the 4th of November. But yeah, Sporting, again, pressure, massive. It's on. We need to win. We're playing a good team. They are better than us right now as a group, coaching wise and just mechanism wise. They have more points, but we need a win. It's as simple as that. There's no ifs button. A point is not enough. A win is needed because, again, it's Bodo Glimt away on a synthetic pitch in, I don't know, minus 10 degrees, with snow. You're not going to get easier games. You're not going to get, the games are not getting easier, period. That's what I'm trying to say. And there are only, how many games are there left? 5? How many games? 5 games left. You need to start winning at this point. So this is it. Win that game. How? We will see. My prediction is, it's tough because this is not Cremonese and this is not Udinese. This is a much, much higher level. And, you need more than just the drive and the how do you want to say that the mindset and the hunger to go out there. You actually also need quality on the pitch throughout 90 minutes. You cannot drop off in the second half like we did against Cremonese because Sporting will punish you. They will, and you're not coming back from that. So it's tough. I have a feeling that we'll probably play a decent enough game, but end up not winning. But I'm gonna predict a win, so I'm gonna go 2-1. 2-1, and you just need to take any side win at this moment in time, being in the situation we are in the Champions League. But you guys, let me know your prediction in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We will talk about it, and then post game we will have another chat. Thanks for watching. See ya. Ciao.